These adults at Fort Myers High School completely failed these children.
The team was torn apart after a coach used the N-word in a group text message.
They're leaving now.
The two black kids go to bat, the kids walk out. It was like your kid was literally in a cage at a zoo.
I love you as a Christian.
People don't get removed from their positions if nothing happens. People don't get removed.
They have premeditated opinions just by looking at my skin color.
Your white parents that want to walk out and blame us because we're black is not my fault. You decided to leave.
This walkout was just the tip of the iceberg. It was planned only for two black kids to be left behind.
There is no place for racism in this district.
Ah! I got 5 units coming if you don't leave.
In the spring of 2023, I got a phone call from some members of the Major League Baseball Players Association who told me, there's something happening in Fort Myers, you might want to pay some attention to it.
I always remember going to the field with my dad and my brother. I kind of just fell in love with the game. I never looked back. I am a junior at Fort Myers High School, currently playing 4 sports: football, baseball, basketball, and track.
Madrid Tucker is a son of Michael Tucker. Michael played 12 years in the major leagues. Madrid played in the Hank Aaron Invitational in 2022 and also again in 2023.
I'm Tate Reilly, and I graduated from Fort Myers High School in 2023. The thing I like most about playing baseball is how it brings people together and how you all are there for the same goal. It's more about playing for each other than it is playing for the coach.
The things that we take for granted in sports, camaraderie, teamwork, togetherness, all the things that sports is supposed to teach us, by the end of that season, collapse completely on that team.
Going into the fall for my senior year, we finally were clicking as a class. We had our own little group chat. We were ready for a good season. We just ended practice and I was at home getting something to eat and the text came out.
It said, "Happy Valentine's Day," and then the N-word.
My wife called me and she was like, "Did you see this message that just came out?"
It was sent by Coach Alex Carciopolo, and it was sent to the team group chat.
I just screenshotted it because I didn't know what else to do, because it was like, I don't know why he's saying that in the group chat with other coaches and with other students. I was just in shock, disbelief. I didn't know what to do.
He sent that and then deleted it, I think, a minute or two later.
We were shocked that a teacher, a coach, would use that kind of language in front of impressionable young men that they're supposed to be guiding.
I was upset that this could happen this day and age, and it takes you back like when I was a little kid, and talking with my mom and dad, my grandma, about how things were. It's not right.
He was my travel ball coach, and he was kind of like my baseball dad. I was like, what the heck? Like, why? I was just like, why?
Yeah, what just happened?
What just happened? Why? And I was kind of just shocked. I didn't know what to do.
Well, it's not a word that we've ever heard him use.
No.
He shared with me that he had sent the text out to, it's a group of 3 other gentlemen that he served in the Marines with, and all 3 of the gentlemen, from my understanding, are African American. That was an okay thing for that group of men. That was just how they spoke. And unfortunately, that text went to this group, where it's not okay to speak that way.
I don't think it was an accident.
You're gonna send Happy Valentine's Day with that word to your friends?
He was fired the next day. The senior group chat were kind of buzzing about who was going to give up their season for Coach Alex to come back.
There was talks of not playing for the season in support of Coach Alex, and I was for that. I was for not playing and giving up my season. And then my mom and I had a conversation.
I was absolutely shocked to see this. This is not the man that I had known him to be, and I had reassured my teammates that I was pretty sure that this was not malicious. He was not going after them based upon their skin color.
What did it tell you that somebody would send that message in a group chat and then be defended by your teammates?
Kind of just showed everybody's true colors of like what they represent and who they are as a person.
They wanted to take a stand and get their coach back.
One of the boys in the text chat went as far as to say, I'll do whatever it takes, I'll snitch on whoever I have to if it means the coach will be brought back. And then at that point, I think we all knew the culture we were in.
Lee County, Florida is named after Robert E. Lee, the heart and soul of the American Confederacy. And Fort Myers High School was the center of a landmark desegregation case in 1964. It took nearly 35 years for the schools to be fully desegregated. All of those battles, they began in the 1960s, and you can still feel them here today.
Y'all want to take this down? Let's rename MLK Boulevard, because I'm offended by that. How about that?
The bronze and marble monument stoking anger and hurt over the last 5 years.
I do this is not about racism.
It's part of our history. If we start taking things down that are offensive to some people, that's going to start a domino effect.
Lee County is like our nation right now. It's very political.
We reject woke ideology. We fight the woke in the schools. Florida is where woke goes to die.
The culture wars playing out in Florida schools over the teaching of race and culture, book banning, and more are in full effect in the district.
I'm running to end woke ideology, stop the indoctrination of our students, and make the school board accountable to you.
I was the first minority to serve in the Lee County School Board. Everybody wants control. Everybody wants their thoughts and desires to be the one thought and desire.
With this baseball team, you could see in real time how all of this rhetoric was actually affecting young people.
Everything turned after the text. Kids would look at us different. They wouldn't invite us places. They wouldn't include us in certain things. The coaches changed towards me and Madrid after that text was sent.
I would say there was like two sides to the situation. People that supported Coach Alex, and then people that did not support Coach Alex. It was wrong what he did, it was wrong what he sent. He should have been fired. That should have been the end of the story.
I believe that a lot of the parents did blame the black players for getting the coach fired. Well, here, you did this, so we had to do something to you. We had to get you back.
Head coach Kyle Birchfield struggled to maintain order after the Valentine's Day text and Carchipolo's firing.
The coaches got together and came up with their set of rules about no cursing, no slamming of helmets, no hitting anything.
Parents were notified via email about a new set of rules, among them punishing any player on the team using the N-word or any type of racial slur.
In school, I normally hear it freely around groups of black kids. We were playing a game, talking in the locker room, so then I said it, the whole room just got silent. I just thought about us as having a normal conversation with my friend, and then it turned into a 4-inning suspension.
It's not being used in a derogatory way, that you have two kids of color pretty much kind of off on their own, laughing and joking, playing a game.
It was not like a derogatory term that he was using with this guy. They had said it previously to Coach Alex being fired, but now there was a whole lot of more tension built up in the locker room and on the team. Now that Madrid had used this word, there was people going to coaches or parents and saying, he used this word, and that's when it became a problem.
And it became more and more evident as time moved on, to me, they really wanted to use that word for some reason. It's unfair that you and your friends can use that and we can't.
This person just got fired. However, there's boys that are using it on the field, in the dugout, in the locker room. So where is that fair? And I feel that there was some division with the parents at this time with what is right and what is wrong.
Kids use it all the time. You know, you can walk into a high school gym or whatever right now and you hear them using it. How have we gotten to a point in our society that it's a term of endearment? If education were what it should be, if you knew and if you were told by the people that influence you, your parents and teachers and people around you, the significance of how negative it is. But then on the other hand, we're not allowed to teach that.
We could feel the divide getting just larger, the tension getting thicker.
It was just going back and forth, just getting hotter, hotter, hotter.
It just started to boil. It was so stressful and tenseful that I didn't even want to go to practice some days.
All of a sudden, every game, they had to have an administrator in the dugout to basically, I felt, babysit the boys.
And then, about 6 weeks after the Valentine's text, Tate Reilly's parents filed an official complaint against Coach Birchfield, alleging he had been physical with Tate during a game and that he and the other coaches had been targeting their son.
We filed a complaint against the administration, the principal, and the coaches involved.
Coach Birchfield was removed temporarily from his position.
We were all brought into the front office. Birchfield had been removed from the head coaching position. They said and kept repeating that they didn't know why. They didn't have any answers. We were all shocked by this because we were like, what did he do? Like, why is he getting removed?
Parents wanted answers. They wanted to know why our head coach was no longer there, and they were getting fired up. It was almost like a mob mentality where these boys wanted to do right for their coach.
And I got this phone call from one of the coaches with multiple other seniors on the phone. They said, we want to support Birchfield by walking out of this next game.
Coach Henson calls and he says, I've already spoken to other senior parents and everybody's on board. We just need Jackson. So what did I do? I called Coach Keith Jones, the basketball coach. And I said, hey, I know these boys are walking. Okay, now we've got administration that's gonna, be taken care of.
Basketball coach Keith Jones, who was helping coach the baseball team, contacted athletic director Stephen Cato to alert him about the possible walkout at the next game.
I got to Terry Park around probably 5:15. Me and Madrid got dressed in the stands. We were just watching the JV game beforehand. The team was sitting with us like it was a normal day, normal game, like we were all friends, we were all buddies.
Seeing the lineup was a big surprise to me. Just confusing the fact that Tate was hitting one.
I was leadoff and Madrid was number 2, and I've never been leadoff before in my life. The last time I was leadoff was Little League.
It was like, okay, so what's going on? Right now I'm more suspicious.
I had blinders on, I was ready to go hit. Madrid is out there waiting because he was the number 2. I was in the batter's box. It was one pitch before my at-bat ended when you could hear kids start to shuffle out of the dugout.
Coach Henson starts it. After the first pitch, he goes back in the dugout, packs his stuff up, and leaves. And that's when all the boys start following him, and they start leaving. I started to pack my stuff up, and then I just said, don't do it. Don't do it. Let them do what they want to do, but you're gonna play baseball.
And I turned my back, and everybody's just walking out.
Kids walking behind the dugout, kids and coaches just walking off.
They're leaving now. Everything. We're videotaping everything.
I was thinking, what are they doing? Why are they out the dugout? How are we gonna finish the game?
We were the only 2 kids left on the field.
The 2 black kids go to bat, the kids walk out.
This is not on YouTube.
It was like your kid was literally in a cage at a zoo, and these parents were so proud of what they had done. The hurt and shock on his face hurt me to my core.
I was definitely confused about why they were leaving. I couldn't even process everything that was going on.
I'm in shock. I'm in disbelief that they're really leaving. They're walking out on their teammates. But not only that, they were led by their coaches.
With the kids that we had left on the field, there was about 4, 5 of us. We walked, shook hands with the other team. I was apologizing. I said, this is not right. I'm sorry.
It was so sad to watch our boys out there. There were people fist bumping as the boys came out of the dugout. At that point, a few parents come directly at me.
I'm gonna pray for the evil in your heart to go away. You need some godly. Sir, I love you, and I pray for you. Are you Mr. Daly? I am. I pray for you.
People don't get fired or get removed if nothing happened. If nothing happened, people don't get removed.
Ma'am, I love you as a
People
Christian.
don't get removed.
They felt that I was responsible for anything that was going on with their coaches.
How do you know that?
Okay, guys.
He's telling me I'm screaming at the mic.
Why is he not here? How do you know that?
No, there's an investigation going on.
We have the right to know why.
Did you assume that maybe there's something that they found?
They're too ignorant.
Well, why aren't they
People are
telling him?
ignorant.
And why are we saying it?
It was weird because they walked off the field, but they didn't leave the park.
Was threatened a little bit ago with
Mine was
kids on this
too.
team.
Mine was
Right.
too.
And what has the district done? We should be in this together. We should be in this together.
It was like they were waiting to see our reaction.
What did I do, sir? What did I do, sir?
Parents and kids were taunting me and Madrid to walk off that field. I was concerned with my own safety. I knew that if I stepped off this field, it was not going to end well.
Your coach did this. Your coach put both of them at the top of the lineup to embarrass them. My kid has done nothing. We have done nothing. We didn't report anything. Your white parents that want to walk out and blame us because we're black is not my fault.
You're supposed to be a family and not just a program. It's more than baseball at that point.
Ah! I got 5 units coming if you don't leave. Plain and simple. All right, let's go, girls.
You decided to leave. Your kids decided to leave. Why are you here? Your kids decided to walk out on our kids. Why are you here? You walked out.
You can open up the air. This is embarrassment, to be honest with you. We got a bunch of little league parents that never grew up, and there's a lot of finger pointing out the room. I mean, there has to be...
That's athletic director Stephen Cato in the green
They're
shirt.
going to know about it from me. Yeah, this is going to...
Cato contacted this Fort Myers police officer wearing the body camera before the game started.
I can't go blind about this one. Yeah.
I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't know what was going to happen.
This is...
They alerted the police beforehand, but not the parents. They didn't have a meeting with the kids to tell them, hey, if you do this, there are consequences. It's heartbreaking.
They have given zero information to any of these kids or parents, and they just found out that their coach is removed. That's all they got.
Yeah.
So
this season's a wash.
what happens when you do this, and this is how it started, they keep not giving anyone information.
Yeah.
People can, there's so much conjecture.
You guys got to go to this
We have.
council.
These people have.
Okay?
These people have.
I'm sorry, but that's fair.
I know it appears that they are the victim, but I'm going to tell you, we have been the victims of this. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
These boys finally stood up for themselves today.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to the April 11th, 2023 school board meeting.
I am Dee Tucker. I'm the mother of the baseball player who got left stuck on the field this Thursday afternoon. These adults at Fort Myers High School completely failed these children. This walkout was just the tip of the iceberg. It was planned only for 2 black kids to be left behind.
I thought 60 years would have changed things, but it hasn't. So I asked, when will we change? What will you do about this? How do you think these children feel? I know how I felt back in the 60s that I protested, fighting for what we're still fighting for today.
There is no place for racism in this district, regardless, and I'll stand strong with that.
Get these baseball players back out on the clay, hopefully before the season's over.
But that never happened. The season was canceled and multiple school district investigations followed, including a civil rights investigation and an investigation specifically into the walkout.
The entire team did not walk out.
To say that there was 2 black boys left on the field by their team, by themselves, is not correct information. Jackson stayed on the field, he walked across, he shook hands, he did not walk, and he is biracial.
Administration needed to step in. They were given the resources and the information that this was going to happen. They should have stepped in and stopped it, or did something to seem like they didn't want this to happen.
When the walkout occurred and the adults didn't say, no, you're on this team, you need to get back in and play, that leads more to the fact that they were in on the orchestration of it. And if that's what they believe and think, that's fine, but what are you teaching children?
I was front row watching the shit show. Was it racial? It could easily be perceived by many people, and yeah, I see that.
I believe that the walkout and our team division and our split was more so supporting our coach, not the actions that he did, but our coach and how we know them personally, than it does with race.
When you go and you look at the statements, or you look on the social media pages of some of the parents involved, and when you look at the arguments that were taking place about the use of the N-word, all of these things are racial. It's not a racial perception. It is directly dealing with race and directly dealing with race between people. There's no question that race is an issue here. The question is whether or not they want to confront it as such.
The types of conversations that needed to take place in order for this to not happen are being restricted and withdrawn in education because there is a faction that does not want this conversation to happen.
If, let's say, education was taught in schools about what happened in the past, then you wouldn't repeat them. But when you don't teach those things, you just keep repeating that cycle over and over, and everybody thinks it's okay.
So the school district concluded in their civil rights investigation that no discrimination had taken place. Simultaneously, there was another investigation taking place into the walkout, which clearly stated that there was an action taking place, an orchestrated collective action taking place. So for his involvement, assistant coach Robert Henson was banned from coaching for a year, and he was reassigned to one of the district's middle schools. Everyone lost here. Alex Cacciapolo, who sent the text message, leaves Fort Myers and leaves Lee County because he felt he was being harassed. The head coach, Kyle Birchfield, he resigns. The only person who stayed in the same position was the athletic director, Stephen Cato.
The state opened an investigation, and the Tucker and Reilly families have each filed federal discrimination lawsuits.
Everything after the text, all the fallout, was why we're here now. It had little to do with the text itself and everything to do with how my son was being treated, how he was being punished after.
If this was your kid or your child, would you want these things to be happening to your kid or your child and nothing gets done?
I don't feel Fort Myers High School protected Tate or Madrid. My son in Madrid, they'll remember it the rest of their lives.
I just want to apologize to Tate and Madrid that this walkout was not a direct stab at them. The walkout had different intentions, and I'm sorry that y'all felt that y'all were abandoned on the field.
No matter what their intentions, the minute the lineup was changed, they're not protesting the administration because the protest is now directed at their two teammates. And this is what happens when you're in a political environment where the rhetoric becomes more and more divisive and people are pitted against each other. And we saw the end result. A high school baseball team was torn apart.
I am attending Albertus Magnus in New Haven, Connecticut. It's been a lot tougher to put myself out there because I've lost a lot of who I can trust in people. I don't know if they have premeditated opinions just by looking at my skin color. I just try to take it day by day ever since the walkout.
Number 2, the designated hitter, Madrid, Tucker.
I sit and watch games just pretty much hoping nothing happens. There's new coaches and everything, and I'm sure they're trying their best, but behavior is going to be behavior. I mean, you got to change the culture that's out there.
He still gets ridiculed. We have other teams now screaming Happy Valentine's Day. It's not over. He has to grow from this. He has to become better. He has to become stronger. He's a young black man. He's only going to get older. He's only going to face more things like this. So leaving was never an option for us. We're not going to let them win.